10 seconds.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to The View from the Deadbox, episode 375 or something like that now.
We don't keep count.
We got a couple things we're going to go over today.
Yeah.
One thing, we had a great showing.
What's that in the background you got back there? Is that a
hunk of metal? Is that metal?
Is that a first place trophy?
That is a first place trophy.
Look
It's his fourth. No, it's his first. It's weird.
That is weird.
Crazy, yeah.
GA Xtreme, huh?
Yeah, it's back to the old days, I guess.
Been a while since we held one of those up. That's mine. Yes. That's my first with you.
Yeah, that is true. We've had a lot of seconds and thirds and very close, but it's great to finally get another one. It's been a few years since I get a big dub, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I know we got a couple things we want to go over today. It's been we took like a week off almost.
Yeah, I think we did.
Weird.
Yeah, it is very strange.
We went from doing almost 2 to 3 per week, getting stocked up to taking a little bit of time off.
Yeah.
It's just our schedule's all over the place. We're not really.
It's crazy.
You're working late sometimes, or not even working half the time.
Yeah, know what it is.
And then sometimes you're off work and I'm still working. Then you get home and then Courtney's playing Call of Duty in here, and then I'm trying to, so it's all over the place.
I can't interrupt y'all's Call of Duty time. So.
Oh God.
That'd be bad for both of y'all, I think. Yes. Bad for the marriage.
Yes. She needs her COD time.
Oh yeah.
What did you have? What did you want to start it off with?
I got something here. It's nothing crazy. So we've been playing for a long time.
6 months, right?
Yeah, 6 months. No, probably combined almost 35 years, I would say, between the two of us. Yep. But what is hands? Well, you could have seen this a few times, I guess. What's the worst paintball injury you've ever seen or experienced? I guess could be another way to do it. I guess for the people that don't know, we don't talk about these topics before we bring them up to each other. So it's blind. Yeah, every time you hear something, it's blind.
Yeah, we feel like if we submit the topics pre-show, then we'll have you're not getting a raw experience. To where now I had no clue he was going to ask me this, so I'm kind of going off the top of my head. I've seen quite a few injuries though.
Yeah.
Worst one I've seen in person would probably be. Well, 2 actually. I mean, they're very similar. One is we had Johnny on a podcast a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing at my father's field many, many years ago, probably 05, 06. And he went to slide and a root sliced through his pants and right into his knee. And it had all his stuffing, as you would say, is hanging out of his knee. Went straight to the hospital, had 10 stitches.
That's a good
one. I seen besides, probably 16 billion guys dying of heat stroke, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a serious one, but it's
not really
fairly common.
If you remember, I had the injury at also at Statesboro. But I was going to the corner and had like a little divot where I slid there and I hyperextended my knee really bad. Well, I was lucky and it just went away. Well, I seen a guy doing something very similar, and he was sliding and went to plant, and when he planted, his leg and came up, the leg stopped and everything else kept going, and his knee completely came out of socket. It didn't break anything. It just dislocated the knee. And I guess that the injury could have been worse, but to sit there and witness somebody's knee dislocated right in front of you is just yikes.
You talked about that in Statesboro. I was playing with you. And I watched you slide out to, I don't know, Dorito side probably. But I heard that noise. I can remember me shooting. I look over at you, and you're just rolling your gun, and then the game was over. One of us probably me, went over there and helped you up because you were good, but you were like, this really hurt. It sounded like if you took a pencil, I guess, and broke it. That was the noise.
It was a loud, crack pop.
Yeah. And
I thought I blew my knee out.
I kind of did too.
Yeah, it was bad, really bad. Yeah. I was on turf too. I think that was one of the first times I've played on turf in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I was wearing golf cleats actually because everything else, that place was an indoor turf field. Mm-hmm. So the paint was like slick. So I was wearing like Nike, not like dress cleats, but like athletic golf shoes. And they worked amazing, but then a little bit too well. And I think I planted, and almost the same thing. Everything kept moving and my leg stopped, and it twisted, and it just like, it made a loud crack, like pop. I thought I was done. I'm like, well, there goes
and that was like all of us just now coming back after a couple of years of not playing hard. That was the start of everyone.
Yes, like that. Yeah, that was like preseason when all the injuries started showing up. So I think that was probably my worst one. How about you? What was the worst one you've seen?
Worst one I've seen. Everyone's seen. I'm sure a lot of people have seen. I believe it's in War of Attrition where Brandon Short's talking about pulling his arm out of socket. Shoulder. Yeah, I've seen a kid, some divisional team at World Cup, probably 2011, 2012, do the same thing. He dove into like a snake 1 or a snake 2, and he just ended up laying there. And he was just like holding his gun up, and he kept looking at the ref like, I can't do this. And he had pulled out shoulder in his socket, and like this dude took it like a champ. He just laid there, and when the point was over, his teammates ran over there and got him and carried him back out. And I seen him a couple points later. I don't know if similar thing happened. He stood up and it went right back in the socket or what, but that was the worst I had probably ever seen, other than same thing, heat stroke. And we had a teammate last year.
Say that.
Were you there?
Yeah, I think 2 other injuries that are very similar. Old Joe on our team, when we were playing at I think a little 3-man tournament. I know it's crazy, these stories keep coming up, but that same event that Graydon was reffing that I tried to blow that kid's lens apart to shoot his eyes out. Is either that event or event that was very around the same time. Joe was running up to the center 50 or do something like a run through or something, and I think he blew his knee out like there in the field. Or you know what? And then I think about it, that might have been an ACT tournament way up in like North Carolina that he did that. But it was something just like that, because I remember from then on he had this giant solid metal brace that he wore everywhere, and then he slowly, like, times got better, and then technology had the carbon fiber ones that are much lighter. I remember that. I can't remember. I think Powell, Eric Powell, I think he tore his meniscus, I think.
Ooh, yeah, it's a rough one.
Yeah. I think he tore his meniscus, but I can't remember when it was though. I think the same thing. I think it was playing maybe as a CFOA that he tore it. I'm pretty sure he blew it out. And it's so hard to say how bad those injuries are because you never know. You can't see them, but you can just see the pain and the grimace in their face. But God, it's awful to watch somebody blow their knee out.
Oh yeah.
And they're gone for at least eight weeks, probably bare minimum.
I mean, I've had nothing ever bad at a tournament. Mine will normally happen is because I don't fully heal all the way. I'll decide, I'm good. Doctor says 6 weeks for my ankle. I go back in after 4, and then I go play a tournament where I play triple the amount of games I normally play, and then my ankle, of course, I go back. She's like, "You tore it again." Like, I've told you, don't keep doing this, but I guess until I seriously get hurt. Normally, an off season heals me up, and I'm pretty good till about a full year around again, and then my ankle will get me again. But Austin had a bad one at the MVPS. He dove into. This was like 2018. He dove into the snake, and I remember I had to run out there and help carry him. Me and Shane, I think, went and carried him off, and he didn't play the rest of the day. Yeah, he was icing that sucker up. He was able to walk towards the end of the day, but it was pretty rough for him, I think. So but I think that was it for me on rough ones. Pretty common.
I can't really remember too many terrible injuries, which is a good thing.
It is a good thing. It just shows that, for the most part, paintball's relatively safe, really and truly.
And I think hydrating and stretching.
Yes.
Hydrating, giving your muscles the elasticity. I can't speak.
We don't do English class here.
Yeah, just the flexibility and being able to stretch everything out is, I think, being in the weird positions and maybe in certain bunkers is so much better, or diving or sliding or forming to where you have to and standing in that position for X amount of time. And then maybe sometimes you're running up to the next bunker and somebody surprised you and came out where you didn't know they were, and you like go to fall or land or slide, and you just like contort your body to some like crazy thing, and it's not used to being meant that way. Proper prepping and taking care of your body prior is no problem. People who are not doing
absolutely.
that can definitely injure themselves like really quick. So kind of goes back to what we talked about before, preparation.
Preparation for your tournaments. I had a lot of good feedback from that episode. Well, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't really get a chance to talk about it. I got quite a few people were saying, "Oh, that was really good." I forgot about. I don't drink as much. I'll drink more water now, and I'm like, good. At least the few people that listen are hopefully they'll actually.
If we can help one, I know everybody always says like drink water, but I have noticed, and I will say straight up, I can play an average event. I can play about 25 points, and it doesn't really bother me. But after like that 30 mark, I can start telling a little bit of fatigue. But I have played since then multiple events and different divisions back-to-back days where I've played 35 points one day and 38 or 40 points the next day. If you're hydrating properly, it's not an issue to play back-to-back time, because the recoup and recovery when you're properly prepped is not an issue. But I've noticed this past weekend when it got turned up to like 4 million degrees, I think I played every point except 2.
Yeah, Payne, Jamie, and Frank played a lot of paintball.
Well, Frank, you don't have to worry about too much because Frank, goes in, typically dies instantly. So he can walk right back to the Deadbox and get his Gatorade and his crayons to eat. And, so it's not too big of an issue. But
well, now we're kind of touching on that too.
So I heard you on the podcast, man. What's up with the crayons?
Oh, he's got it for sure.
For anybody that doesn't know Frank, he's a Marine, and we have a couple veteran guys on the team.
Yes, we do.
Different forces. So I'm just about the only Army guy there. So I like to kind of shit on all the other guys. We have one Marine, Frank, and then Chuck and Michael Payne are both chair force guys. So everybody's out now, but I like to kind of give them some shit every now and then.
Oh, yeah. And they all do. They give it back, so it's fun.
Yeah, especially Frank.
This kind of is on topic with what you were just saying about prepping for tournaments and the injury thing. After our tournament last weekend, which it'll be like a month when this comes out, but Jamie, you would not have believed how bad he was cramping in that car ride.
Oh, I would.
I had to – we left the restaurant. No, listen. I turn onto the main street. He goes, dude, he's in the back seat. I got Michael Payne in the front. He goes, put the window down. So I put the window down. He has his feet out the back of my truck, and his feet are like straight. Like he can't bend them back. So I had to pull over. He got out, came in the front, was using his little muscle vibrator thing he has. And we drove a little bit longer. I had to pull over and get him 2 jars of pickle juice because he was just like – it took us like an hour to leave 30 miles. Like because
I wasn't that bad. But I was driving about 80 or 100 miles out, and I started punching my legs because I was literally about to start screaming. All my legs were cramping up in the truck, and I was driving, so I couldn't move them. And I would shift spots, and then my leg would lock up, and then I would bend it back down, and it would lock up. So I just had it on cruise, and I was trying to stretch out as best as I could, but both my legs kept locking up, and no matter what position I put them in, they were completely rock hard. And I was like trying to hit them and like stretch them out and bend them, and it was not working. She's like, you want to pull over and I can drive? So I went to pull over, and right by the time I got off the exit, like everything freed up, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep driving.
Yeah.
So I just got back on the road. But yeah, mine was – I've never had it that bad before.
Yeah, well, I've never seen – Jamie has always cramped, like, as long as I've played with him.
His hands always like – it's so crazy.
Yeah, when he's eating, like the fingers you're doing right there is what it is, and he just like can't control it. He
gets like Tales from the Keeper, like TV show. Like
I was gonna say the strong hand guy from a scary movie too, but yeah, strong hand. Yeah,
that's about what. Take my strong hand. It's about what it is. But it looks weird as it is. Yeah. Like locked up and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of on par. I guess I don't know if that's an injury or not, but it was wild. I've never seen him that bad.
He drinks a lot too.
Yeah.
He drinks a bunch, and he hydrates really well compared to most of us.
He was kind of blaming it on not having enough carbs in his system. That's kind of what he was saying because him doing the keto thing.
Shane's book, you know?
Eat 3 loaves of bread.
14 loaves of bread, the night prior. We go to a restaurant, and the whole table would like to have some bread, but we're not eating the bread. But if you want to eat the 5 loaves by yourself, dude, put it back. Just put it back. So I think that night
one extra chicken nugget too. He stole my chicken.
Yeah. I think he had enough carbs for the.
He probably did.
The entire line.
Oh boy, yeah, that was hey. All in all, we pulled out of first place. Pretty miraculously, if you ask me, because we have not practiced. We practiced 5 points on that layout as a team the weekend prior, and they were 5 shitty matches.
Yeah, those who are kind of keeping up with a little bit of our personal life and what we're playing, we don't have a speedball field right now. It's under construction. They're putting the turf down, but this COVID thing kind of has everything all over the place. So they have the COVID death of the doomsday preppers, happening. So everything's at a standstill. We have a turf. It's there. It's in rolls. We just need to get the asphalt down, get it hardened and leveled, and we can roll the turf out. So that's the only thing we're waiting on. Everything else is there. We have the field. Everything's done. So we're ready to go. Done. Well, we've been drilling on a rec field, doing drills and a little bit of upkeep, but we haven't had a field to play on. And
since February, really.
The owner of Bayside, we reached out to them, and they were nice enough to completely set up the CPSL layout, which is amazing of them because Bayside paintball. By the way, if you're in Florida or anywhere near Jacksonville, I don't give a damn if you're 5 hours away. The Bayside paintball in general in Jacksonville is an amazing field.
Absolutely. Yep.
The whole setup from the owner is a prior player and actually still plays, and they have a couple great teams that play out there. They do every week before MVPS. They do an MVPS scrimmage, and they average about 6 to 8 teams that are out there.
Yeah, easily.
And he typically takes care of everybody. I want to say it's like 35 a case of paint and 5 for entry. I think it's like 35 or 40 bucks a person. Get your case and entry and obviously air. But in every case after that is either 30 or 35. So you can get entry and 2 cases for like $70.
Yeah.
And it's always amazing competition out there. But he was nice enough to set up the CPSL, which is 8 hours away from him. So they didn't have to do that because they typically only set up the SPL and the MVPS. That's what they typically do because that's the events and teams that want to play that. So they don't have too many teams that want to play the CPSL.
Which is in North Carolina.
Exactly. Yeah. So he said, if you guys want to come out here, I'll set it up for you. And we showed up, and damn, he didn't have guys out there setting it all up. And we get there. We had some gun problems early on in the day, and we were plagued throughout the day. And his main team, the Bayside Raiders, kind of put a whooping on us for a while. We literally struggled all day we had 1 point all day that we had 5 guns alive that worked the entire point, and that's the only point we won. We might have won 2 other ones versus another team, but we did not win much at all. So we probably played that layout maybe 7 times total. And I can't stand driving 2 hours and having a shit day of practice.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember looking at you. The face you had. I had not seen in a very long time.
I was fucking pissed because I hate getting everything organized, getting down there, and just having like problems that we can't fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we couldn't control either. That was the worst part.
Yeah, so we got to this event. At least we've seen some of the lanes. We had a little bit of the walk. And they set it up very close to how it was, to be honest with you. Yep. Not too much changed. Maybe the wedges in the middle, but that was really about it. Yep. And we had coming out of prelims.
Yeah, we were, what was it, 2-1-1?
2-1-1. I was pretty upset. We struggled. We had 3 guys in the box the very first point of the day. Wasn't really our fault. They held us up a chrono, and they didn't get out of the pits. Well, as soon as that last match was done, they started the clock to get in the pits, and we should have just said fuck the pits, grabbed our guns, walked straight to the net, kept our gear outside, and played the first point. But we physically couldn't get into the pits until right at like a minute. So we didn't get on the field until like 30 seconds. And then we all ran on. 2 guns were like 302, 304, and they pulled 2 of our guys off. So we started the first point with 3 guys. Yeah, so we all went there at 3 points. We lost the first game, came back, won the second game. and we battled back and forth, and we had 2 bad penalties back-to-back in games.
Yep.
Lost both of those, came back. When we have 5 bodies alive with 5 guns, we win. We won again. So then we ended up having a chance to close the point gap, and the clock was like 10, 12 seconds, and we were jogging in to hang the flag instead of like dead sprinting. And I understand the guys are worn, but they got like 2 steps off the box. Time, whatever. Go to the next match, which ACR.
Yep.
And which is our really good friend. We had a friendly little wager on the side.
Yes, we did.
I was kind of talking some shit throughout the week just to rile up some friendly betting. I said the loser of this match would have the team would hold up the other team's jerseys, and they would get a picture. It's a $1 bet, a little gentleman's bet, but just a little, just for social media, kind of get everything going. And so, before we get out there, I'm getting text from a couple of different guys. We're all kind of popping off, talking a little bit of shit. And one of the guys that run that team, Ethan Harvey for Holy City Reapers, we were like, he texted me and let me know. He's like, don't choke. Like, here you go. And we're back and forth, battling. Great match. And it's 2-2, and we have the chance of going up 2-3. It's like 45 seconds on the clock, 3-on-1 situation, and we're just slowly going down the field. They have one guy in the very back left corner. He's by himself, and we finally get to their home. So we're like 5 steps off the box, and the clock's on 10 seconds. Jamie is beat. He is physically beat. He goes to the bunker. He loads. The guy's obviously trying to guard the lane, but it's just we had a chance to just run down, just dunk on them or trade with them, and then just smash the buzzer 30 seconds prior. But anyways, we ended up not hitting the buzzer like 3 steps away from the box again, and it's a tie. So now we're 0. We have 1 loss, 1 tie. So we end up having to win our next 2 matches, in which we do.
Yeah.
So we go on.
Was one of those an overtime win? Or
no, we had double overtimes. They were in the same.
Okay.
So we had 2 decent wins back to back with the other teams. So we are at 2-1-1, and we knew we were going to go in. We just didn't know how high we were. We ended up going in, obviously.
About dead middle of the pack, I would say.
Yeah, 2-1-1 put us pretty good. If we would have had that win over HCR, I believe we would have been at top of the bracket.
Yep.
Because they were above us because of
point margin, I think.
Point margin or something like that. Yeah. No. I think we did actually finish above them because of time.
Oh, okay.
But somebody else finished above us that had 1 point separation of margin, but we left 2 points on the board and a loss.
Yeah.
So, anyways, go into the quarters, and we pair up against.
Don't remember who. I should have pulled it up.
Gridlock.
Yeah, we 3-0'd them.
It was, and boy, I love that match. Yeah, I know a lot of the Gridlock guys. They've been playing forever.
Yep.
And I've played against some of those guys on that team for a long time, and that organization's been around a long time. And, I don't want to say struggling all day. They were doing decent, but they were like on ragged edge. Like they were just about the cusp of blowing up in the pits. So I made it a point I told all the guys, like, do whatever you can to get in these guys' heads. Like every point, talk a little bit of shit when you're going past them. Throw them a little extra bonus ball here and there. Just piss them off. And I could tell the very first point we ran them off the field, like 5 alive. They get to the box, and those guys are just fucking yelling in the pits. They were like blowing up. So I knew coming out, like the second point, I was going to put it back on them. And we have a chance. We go away. We like 4-body them again. And we're getting kind of loud, talking a little bit of shit. Just nothing like being cocks, but just a little bit, talking a little bit of shit. And they're just blowing up. They're in the pits yelling and fighting and arguing. And
head games, man.
That's what it is.
Yep.
So they come out, they're down 2-0. It's a mercy 3. So if you go up 3-0, it's game. We come up third point. They push really good. We have, I think what happened. Then we lost a body. They came down really fast. They were in R400 pretty early.
Yeah.
And then we ended up battling back, and we got out. And I ended up having a lane on 2 guys on the same rope. And the dude is in my 400, like 1 bunker away, posted up, waiting on me. I head check one time, and he's like literally just has nowhere to go. So he knows he's on me. And I ended up just snapping on the first shot with 1 ball. And I remember seeing him, the guy right behind him, there was somebody standing right behind him on the outside of the bunker, like not even 10 foot away. And I come out and just laser him, like right in the side of the head. And he was wrapped all the way around trying to shoot Jamie in the home, or the Alpha. And I just laser this dude, and I am talking shit. And this dude's throwing his hands up. He's fucking chirping. He's mad. I'm like, that's a penalty. That's a penalty for talking. And the whole crowd's kind of like losing their shit. And he is fucking yelling. He's arguing. And I know it's just downhill from there. And that started like a landslide. Like we played after that. We had a pretty conceiving win. And then I think we had a back and forth battle with Tantrum Black. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Had to go.
You don't know how fast I was sprinting to try to hang that flag to tie that game.
Oh no, I do, because you were fucking hustling. I yelled at you, and I thought they said I heard the.
Well, because I looked at you at one point, and I said, Wes, I was like, we got 60 seconds. You're probably in our 200, and I was at home looking at you. I was like, and I knew we had Payne or Jamie to our left.
Yep.
And then you went down a shot, so when I went to like the 40. And then I watched you shoot the last guy, so I just was like, I gotta hang this flag. I'm the furthest one away. I'm listening to that. And I was just like, dude, you have no idea. I thought I was gonna run through that box. I was like, I'm going. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to slow my big ass down to stop on this thing. And I was just like, oh, this is a fucking dirter film coming up right here. I'm gonna roll right through this.
Short bus.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So we that was an overtime point. We went to overtime with them. We had a 5 point, so 5 minute. So if anybody's listening, we went to overtime with Tantrum Black, and we had a 5 minute 1 point like overtime rules. And boy, was it a 5 minute match!
Oh yeah,
like, it was like everybody was locked up. I shot everything I had. Everybody was super slow to didn't want to risk it. And I kind of took some bites. Everybody kind of got in their spots.
People made a play at the right time, really. I mean,
and I think we won like 4 or 5 up on them. Like we won the point. It was slow as shit. Nobody made a mistake. Everybody played super smart, and we won. And then we go to final
Founding Fathers. So we were playing
Founding Fathers, which I believe that was their home field.
Okay.
These guys, very nice guys. I didn't see any problems out of them all day.
That's the only time we played them too. We were completely separate.
Never seen them all day. I was warned about a couple of their players throw some of their break shooters really well, and they were like, dude, I was taking some bites on the 300 off the break on a lot of those points, and they're like, do not go to the 300 on the break. Like, it will not work against this guy. So me being the dumbass that I am, I'm like, couple points in, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna grab it. We made it in, and then we ended up going overtime with those dudes. And I'm like, fuck me, man. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, another overtime match. But I guess there's no other way you would rather win an event than having double overtimes back-to-back against the main home team field.
And traveling 6 hours.
Traveling like 6 hours. And same thing. We grinded it. I heard 60 seconds. We won like 4 bodies, 5 bodies up. But it was slow. We just took it really slow. Me and Jamie I took a big bite on the D side early. I noticed that the Alpha wasn't really shooting. He'd go inside and he'd shoot the Seattle, and they would lock lanes. But I kind of noticed early in the day, and I told Jamie that one point I told him that they weren't shooting that Alpha into the 2 or 300. They were leaving it wide open, and I noticed that they were doing the same thing. So I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go to the Alpha. I'm gonna shoot, and when he gets there, when he goes right to the inside, I'm just gonna grab the 300 right at the beginning. And it was there. And I didn't make too many moves after that. We played it super slow.
Yeah, we had gun problems too.
Yeah. It was shooting all over the place. And I squeeged it, nothing. Shot it, squeeged it, nothing. And I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Hey, you actually said that. I was getting ready to say, I was on the sideline with your wife, and you go, Jamie, I can't fucking shoot the broadside of a barn right now. And I'm like,
yeah, it was – I don't know what it was. I looked in the hopper. Hopper was dry. The barrel was dry. I ended up just dumping the fucking paint out, loaded another hopper in, and shot through it, and then it straightened back up. So we just got a bad pot of paint, I guess.
Yeah.
And right after that, it was fucking money. Everybody's hanging out. I was able to pick up some kills. Like the dudes are there. I was getting mad because people were wide open, and I couldn't fucking shoot anything.
Yeah.
But it worked out. We ended up getting down. I think we only had like 20 seconds left in that game.
Yeah, there was not much time, not at all.
So it was great. That was a great win, a great team win.
Oh,
yeah. It was a 100% team right there. I mean.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I didn't play that final point, but it was me and your wife. We were right down the sideline. I'd never seen her jump up so much. Like, she was so excited. I was excited. Chuck, he was pacing around like he didn't know what to do or say because we watched it happen. And so I remember, like, it happened. I was waiting, like, because I wanted to get on the field. Like, I'm waiting for them to call dead field. And as soon as I called dead field, I had you walking off first, and then Jamie, he was sitting there. And I was like, oh, my God, it looks like Jamie's not a real emotional dude. But, like, the way his face was like, is Jamie going to cry? Is he that excited? Because that was his first place win, too, in a D4X ball. I mean, it's a legitimate win, no matter what anybody says. And, yeah, I mean, then Payne was beat, Jamie was beat, you were beat. But
yeah, no, we were fucking toasted.
It was an event, that's for sure. It was a good one.
Yes.
Hard fought, so.
I guess which brings me to my next topic, and it could be the final here, is with all these different events going on, and – man, I think there's only about 3 series left in the States that I feel you get rewarded for winning. I feel that
okay.
I feel that it was brought to my attention. Obviously, not like I couldn't see it, but a lot of these events, including the NXL, like you get like change and like cheeseburgers for like first place.
Yeah.
Like you barely, if anything, you barely break even, but usually you don't even break even for winning. And some of the guys are, might be mad for this or that for reason, but there's only a select few series that still pay out good money to the top place guys. And it's so crazy. I don't know where that disconnect is, because I do understand that CPSL, I think, pays more with the more teams.
Yeah,
we did barely break even. We barely made the cut to get the top amount of money, and there is more when the teams go up. But 12. I think 12 teams is the bottom they'll let you lock in for the $1,500 or whatever it is, or $1,200, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think MVPS pays really well to come back out, but
even the SPL plays pretty good for a 5-man.
But they're all prizes now, though, right?
Yeah, you do. It's not a cash prize, no. But
that's the only thing that sticks to that point is they do it. I think there's 5 rises.
Yeah, we got 5 rises and 5 either Spires or Rotor 3s
LTRs
or something.
Probably.
Yeah, LTR. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was something.
Which is good if you can sell it all, because I think the hopper's worth like 80 and the guns worth like 200.
I want to say it paid for our next – they paid for all the paint for that event we played, and plus the paint bill and the entry for the next tournament, which to me that's really all I want. I'm fine with that.
The only difference is that's 5-man.
Yeah.
So like –
oh, yeah, the entry cost to get in is way less, and you're shooting 15, maybe 20 cases. So
yeah, so our event this time wasn't that crazy expensive, but we shot 35 cases of paint. So it's like we won, yes, but we shot 35 cases of paint. Now, some of the other events that pay well, the paint money is significantly higher.
Yeah.
But like I think some of the other bigger events, MVPS pays really good. I think a couple years ago in a D5 5-man win, they made like $2,500, I think, cash.
Yeah,
roughly. I think it was like half off entry, $1,800 or $1,750, and then we got like $1,000 in certificate, or maybe it's something like that. Something like.
I know even the third place was a pretty solid cash win. That you had it was enough to cover the paint. And maybe entry too, and that was 5-man. It was really close to it. I think that event only cost me like $20 or something.
The first place was like $1,500 cash, $1,500 gift certificate, plus $500 cash, plus half off entry and something else. But we made our money. We paid for everything, paint and entry, and had money to go to the next event on, which is, I think, how it should be. I always feel that if you win an event, it should always take care of everything at that event. That event should basically be for free. I know you're not trying to get rich from playing, so I understand at this point you're not making $1 million to play. But I do agree. You hear a lot of our guys are a little bit salty that they feel like they got the bad end of the stick, sort end of the stick, that we won and didn't get a bunch of money, or not even a bunch, but to pay it all. I know what you're saying. You see what I told him? I'm like, dude, welcome to New Age Paintball. That's just how it is now. Like the prizes for first and second are just they're
Yeah.
basically barely enough to break even. And we probably would have more than made money, but shooting 35 cases of paint, traveling 6 hours, and paying the $600 entry or whatever it is, it's it's a lot.
My thing has always been this, because I'm not a big fan on like participation trophies and whatnot. I've always thought the only person that should, and people might not like this, is first place.
Take the prize at a second or third.
Take the prize at a second or third. Give it to the first place, or maybe just take it from third and then split that between first and second if you want to give more than one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something I've always thought, like, or give the third place team 5 cases of paint or a plaque or something. I've always, I don't know. I grew up playing baseball tournaments and there was no cash prizes. We would pay $500 to go to these baseball tournaments, even more, and you don't win anything. Like, you don't win a thing. So that's always been but obviously baseball, softball does not cost near as much as this. But I've always had that in my head where, I don't know.
I think it's just going to take a minute for some of the guys who haven't won a lot of events or who have won events, but it's been years. And years ago, like I made a lot of money one year winning like 5 or 6 of the open events.
Yep.
I won like 5 open big events, like 45+ team events. I won 2 series in the same year. So we had a lot of money, and they're all cash payouts. They're like you get $150 per team. So if 20 teams come in, you're getting over $2,000 cash, bare minimum. And then there's also certificates and all that kind of shit on top of it. So you're in those events are always really nice, big turnouts. So it's great to have that kind of setup, but it's just not really there too much anymore. Or if it is, the cost of playing has significantly changed. Back then it was always 5-man. So when you won $1,500, you made all your money in like $500 cash too. You're like, oh hell yeah, I paid for everything and $500 cash. We're money. But now you're shooting 30, 40 cases of paint. You're blowing through your money. It's hard to even do it until you got to cut. We're paying $20 a case of paint, but then your entry fee is $2,000.
Significantly more.
So it's like everybody's like nationals fucks you. National, listen, NXL is fucking you. I understand, but you get to bring your own paint basically. But they make the money on entry.
Yeah.
And other events, you're like, this is way cheaper. It is, but they're making the money on the paint. So it's 6 1/2 dozen.
Nothing's worse than posing for a picture with $40 paints in my hand after I done shot 15 cases. That one, GFOA is not around anymore, but I did that for 2 seasons straight, and I'm like, I'm not winning first, but I'm winning second and third here, and I'm holding a pair of Valken pants that are size small. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? I don't want them. I would rather you have just given me a case of paint, honestly, instead of.
Yep.
But I mean, I've won some shit prizes. I know you've won some shit prizes.
Oh, I've won some real shit prizes. We used to win the GFOA so much in open division that I would throw the fucking trophies into the woods when we're done, like right there at the field. I would win. They would give us like. It was cash at that time.
Yeah.
But depending on what showed up, and then towards the end it was dying off. We were only playing it because they guaranteed the series prizes at the end. But we were starting to get fucked out of some of the wins. We're not even that, but the prizes were just dwindling so fast.
Yeah.
And the paint prices were going up and up and up and up and up. I would just, at the end of the event, we won. We get all our shit. I got our fucking trophies. Throw them in the fucking woods. I didn't give a fuck. Right there in front of the people. Throw them in the fucking woods. Load the car up. Get the fuck out of here. So mad. I was just so mad. I was so fed up. I'm like, when I'm done this season with the series, I'm never coming back. Like
there's a reason it's not around anymore.
Yeah.
It had a good 5 to 8 year run, I think, but I think the prizes were always something that killed that series.
It always is. It should always be a money amount based on team turnout.
Yep.
So if it's $500 entry fee, take $200 from every single team and divide that up between like first and second, or first, second, and third, however they want to do it. Do like, so take $200, boom, off the $500 entry fee, or whatever the entry is. 70% goes to first, 20% goes to second, 10% goes to third, or just do like a 70-30.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think before I've seen it 60-30-10, 60% goes to first, 30% goes to second, 10% goes to third. which I'm fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And when 20 teams show up, you still get a decent payout.
Yep.
But when 10 teams show up, you're like, this payout kind of sucks. But they should maybe put in a rule that if only 10 teams show up, winner takes all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like I said, I'm fine with winner takes all for anything except maybe like a national, like for the NXL. All these local series, in my opinion, you could do each event first place only. Maybe you could do for the series first, second, and third, and then that's it. I don't know. I think that would just gives you an incentive to actually win. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you'll draw more teams.
I think so.
You always draw more teams with cash. I know teams that only play local events or that play NXL events that play local events if the cash prizes are there.
Yep.
The teams that just play the AXBL, which is a fucking shithole series, by the way.
Jesus, I've never played it, so I can't comment or speculate.
It's awful. If you ask anybody, any of the Nitro guys that have played it every season, they will straight out tell you the series is fucking awful.
All right, fair enough.
The refing is like they have refs on the field who don't even play divisional ball. Like that, it's just you can't have that, especially when you have open teams with like pros and semi-pros out there playing. You can't.
Yeah.
So this week, I shared that post to you guys in the chat the other day. Don't want to throw anybody on blast, but Tom Kapowski, which is the guy who runs the struggle system, and they have like 13 million teams. But anyways, they said that they went there for, I want to say, like 3 lines, like open, or maybe they went there for like D3, I think D3, D4, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what they did was they made an open roster, and it was supposed to be first place on D4, I think got $1,500 cash and some other bullshit. Well, anyways, before it happened, apparently the prizes got switched, and it was supposed to be open, got $3,000 to win. D4 got $1,500 to win, and then D5 probably got like a pat on the ass and a fucking feather or something. Who knows? But anyways, the last minute, apparently, because there's a big post, like 500 comments in there, the prizes got taken away for D4, and they moved almost all the prizes for open. So I heard that open got $5,000 to win, and
that's
D4 got, I'd have to see. Pretty sure Tom said it was jerseys, a tiny bit of money, and then something else, but it was awful. And apparently Joey DePlato says that it happened at that series, at that event before. That's
crazy,
that's his home field. And he says that has happened before, that the prior posts with prizes listed on them were removed and deleted, and prizes have changed.
That's shady.
And yes, so this, because everybody in there knew that it's happened several times. This isn't the first time it happened. So everybody in there was just like going bananas on these people about the prizes, which I understand.
I mean, I would be too. That's fucked up, honestly. If that's true, that's fucked up.
Yes. I mean, everybody was in there talking about it because Keith Brown and somebody else played with one of the open teams that won. So I think it was Keith Brown and one of the guys, I can't forget, but it was two pros and a bunch of other like semi-pros and D1.
Yeah. I mean, those guys want to play paintball right now as much as anybody. They're like, we'll play any series.
Yeah, $5,000 to win, sure. They probably even said, like, I don't know this, I'm just guessing, $3,000 to win, that's okay. If you do it $5,000, we'll come up.
Yeah.
And they said, well, fuck it. We'll get the money somewhere. Oh, here it is right here. Take them that division because it only has, let's just say, 10 teams in it. And they shifted to the open division, and they hoped to draw more teams, but they only had like fucking 5 teams in open.
Yeah. God dang.
And it's bad because I know a lot of the guys that played in the open division who took second or whatever, and they kind of felt like they got fucked because prizes were shit. D4 guys did well. You know, I know tons of guys that D4 guys did well, but the prizes were shit. So if these series are listening, Alex Zodell, I know he runs the MVPS. He always takes care of everybody.
Yep.
A lot of these events, I don't know who runs the WCPPL, but I hear they're all the same way. They're like one of the biggest regionals, and it's the same way with Alex. They're like the biggest regionals, but they also take care of the players. They take care of the fields. The fields are typically always in a national park, or like a rec center. The fields are great. The fields are like, the bunkers are typically new. The nets are new. The chronos are new. Everything's new. Nice. Scoreboards are new. Like the refs are typically all either old players or certified NXL refs. Like, you get what you pay for.
Oh yeah.
So, and the prizes are there. Like, all the vendors are there. The techs are there. Like, that's what makes an event to me. Like, they have, you know what I mean? Like, I want to go there and walk around and spend some money. Like,
well, that too. And then part of going to an event, when you're talking about like these bigger ones like MVPS, we get to see all our other friends. Like, yeah. I mean, every time we go to tournaments, I see 15 other players that I know that live in Florida, live other parts of Georgia. So that's all part of it. And having a nice event brings my friends to these tournaments so I can all compete against other batches of my friends that don't live near me. So yeah. Shout out to that one ref who had a brand new chrono that I shot when I was walking on the field. He was kind of pissed. At MVPS. No, this was in February of this year. He was moving his hand around. And I'm like trying to chrono gun on the field, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger. And I shot the screen right on his fucking chrono. Bah! And he goes, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, sorry, I walked on off. Kept playing.
Yikes.
Yeah.
They weren't that, I guess.
I know, right? That's why he has to get new chronos every event, I guess.
Yeah. In that stockpile of chronos he had.
Well, I think that's all I had. Did you have anything else?
I think that's it, man.
Well, we thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Like, again, if there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know. We're getting good feedback so far. I get good feedback. I think Wes does too. We talk about it a little bit.
A lot of my friends are assholes, but I still get a good feedback.
Yeah, well, I mean, mine too. They go, oh, you should have said this. You should have said that. I'm like,
hey, make sure we're on Apple Podcast now, guys. So make sure
you subscribe.
Yes, we didn't know this, but Apple is a little bit behind. They're a little bit slower to upload. By sometimes 30 minutes an hour. But if you don't sub us, you had to wait 24 hours to see it. So everybody else is talking about the podcast, or you hear them all laughing or making posts about it, but you won't see it unless you're on Spotify or Google.
Spotify, Google, those show up instantly. We do have it on YouTube, like if you wanted to see our ugly faces. I know, right? That's going to be a shocker for some people. But Apple takes a little bit. And it'll take a full 24 hours if you're not subbed. If you're subbed, it'll take like 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. I really don't know. Yeah. But
it seems like it's always been about 45 minutes to an hour behind. Like if we go live at 11, it's almost always live at like 12-ish.
Yep. And we're trying to go live every Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. So just make sure you guys are subbing. I know a lot of you guys like to use Apple Podcasts. It's much easier, much more simple, and more legit in my eyes. So if you guys have any, and I like to open it up. If you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, dude, just message us. Like me and Mike love to just bullshit. So you can give us some topics to touch on. If we don't know about it, chances are we probably do. But if we don't know about it, we'll do our homework. We'll research it. If you want us to look into some stuff that's going on in the league, or maybe you look into some companies that are doing something, just let us know. We're all feedback. So
we like paintball. We just want to talk about paintball. That's all it is.
Yeah. So send us some topics, some other questions.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.